Awe is a feeling of amazement and wonder. Awe brings fresh eyes to the familiar, and it can connect you with inspiration, hope, and gratitude. It really feels like a lovely topic for Thanksgiving week. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor podcast. I'm a certified career coach and a grief recovery specialist, and I really love to help ambitious, driven people feel confident and empowered after experiencing a career setback. Whether it's from feeling stuck in a tough period or frustration from slow progress, I offer up tools and resources to help you meet your full potential. Sometimes the only thing that's standing between us and a renewed sense of purpose is a willingness to look at what we already have with fresh eyes. One of my clients, I'm going to call her Stacy, shared how she had this habit of getting caught up in these disappointments and frustrations of her career. Industry setbacks, ghosting, projects that never went as planned, and goals that just fell short. Stacy could see how she was letting all of the things that didn't happen overshadow the good, but she couldn't figure out how to move past it, and she wanted to know how to get unstuck. Now, recently, I've been going on awe walks, and I wondered if Stacy could apply that same sense of wonder to her career. Is there a way to look at a professional journey with fresh eyes, the same way I've been seeing my neighborhood in a new light? Stacy's question really struck a chord with me because I'm learning to cultivate awe in all aspects of my life, whether it's in nature, in my daily routine, or in my career. And it's a really powerful tool for finding meaning and joy. So what is awe? Awe is a feeling. It's a feeling of reverence, wonder, amazement, and it has a really profound effect on our well-being. So think about parents holding a child for the first time, or maybe the moment that you got your first job, or one time I was visiting a redwood forest and wow, I was awestruck. I also experienced awe in this really amazing way when I went to China and I saw the terracotta warriors in person. Now, the warriors, if you don't know this, are part of a collection of terracotta sculptures, and they show the armies of the first emperor of China, and they were designed to protect him in his afterlife. Now, I had no idea that each of those 2,000 warriors was uniquely crafted and modeled after real people. Each of their faces looked so different and had so much expression on them. And the complex that these terracotta warriors were in, they were life-size soldiers, but they also had chariots and horses as well. And then I found out that there are probably another 6,000 more of these sculptures still buried. I could not mentally or emotionally grasp the sheer scale and craftsmanship of this incredible ancient army. So lately, I've been practicing how to find awe in a much simpler way by just paying closer attention to my surroundings when I go on my daily walk in my neighborhood. This practice is called an awe walk, and it gained traction in the early aughts as a way for adults in their 60s and older to manage declining mental health. And there was a study of about 60 people who took weekly outdoor walks, and they were only 15 minutes in length. And these people reported greater joy and positive emotions. So an awe walk, it means that you're deliberately looking for moments of wonder, even in surroundings that are familiar. So in addition to cultivating the ability to find new perspectives, awe walks release endorphins. That's that hormone that stimulates relaxation and improves our moods. And this is the best part. The walking doesn't even have to be brisk. You can just have a slow walk. In fact, it's even better for an awe walk. So this is how an awe walk works and how you can apply it to your career. It's all about shifting perspective, and you go for a walk in a familiar place, but with a heightened sense of curiosity. You really do need to slow down. You let your eyes wander, and you look for details that you might otherwise overlook. For me, that meant actually looking up and around in my neighborhood rather than on the ground in front of me. And then I wound up noticing a lot of small, delightful details in my neighborhood that I've never seen before. There was this one time I found these teeny tiny figurines from Toy Story that were tucked into a wall. And I was like, that is so amazing. So inspired by finding these treasures, I couldn't help but wonder, what would it look like to take an awe walk through my career? What if, instead of focusing on all of the disappointments and things that went wrong, I tried to see my work life with the same kind of curiosity and appreciation that I was using when I was walking in my neighborhood? I'm going to walk you through how I applied the concept of an awe walk to my career and how you might be able to do it too. So I started out by mentally revisiting moments and milestones, big ones, small ones, through the lens of my 18-year-old self. The person who had graduated from high school, hadn't started college yet. And so here are a couple of examples. In my career, I have been really fortunate to go to the Emmys, but I have to be transparent. I'd been focused on the fact that as a junior executive, I was seated in the nosebleed section, so far from the VIPs who were like in the 10th row. But when I put the lens of awe on, I realized what an incredible gift it was that I got to be there at all. And I was surrounded by people at the top of their field, and even being a part of that world, even though I was on the edge of it, was something my younger self would have been absolutely delighted with. Another example is how often I've learned from professionals. Now, I used to dwell on how my time at CBS ended, how I was let go after 10 years of being at the network. But looking back, I saw how much I grew and I learned from being a part of a team that took the network from last place to first in the ratings. So I realized I'd been so focused on the job loss that I'd overlooked the gift of learning, which is one of my core values. And I learned things like how to evaluate pitches, how to give notes on scripts, and navigate tricky personalities. Now, related to that is another awe moment for me, which has to do with being a producer. When I think about my time as an executive producer on the Netflix series Girl Boss, I can't help but think about the disappointment of our one season cancellation. But when I reflect back on it even more and look at it through an awe mindset, I can see how amazing it was to actually get something made and to get something on the air and for people to be able to see it all around the world. And I got to work with really talented people. I mean, my gosh, most projects never even see the light of day, and this one did. And it's really awesome because I still get messages from people today who see the show and love it. These reflections have really helped me rediscover a sense of pride in my career that I previously diminished. It wasn't about ignoring the challenges or the disappointments. It was about choosing to see a bigger picture, the whole picture of the experience, including the wonder. Let me break down really specifically how to take your own career awe walk. And you don't need a long list of prestigious accomplishments or achievements or anything like that. You can really benefit from looking at the big things and the small things. So here's some simple steps. The first one is look back on milestones and make a list of the key moments in your career, projects you worked on, challenges you faced, skills you developed, or people that you learned from. And approach each of these with fresh eyes as if you're an outsider admiring someone else's journey. So my client Stacy's list included graduating from USC, getting her first entertainment industry job as an assistant, which, to be transparent, she absolutely hated, but she got her foot in the door, and being promoted to coordinator, which took 2 years longer than she had hoped. Second, celebrate the small wins. Sometimes the moments that can evoke the most awe aren't the big achievements, but the small personal ones. A meaningful interaction, a lesson learned, a surprising moment of kindness or insight. Don't overlook these. This prompt was challenging for Stacy, but she stuck with it, and then she found that she had really so many small wins, like the time that she reached out to a USC alum and they put her up for a job without even meeting her. The value of her degree paid off in this unexpected way through what's called a weak connection. Third, look for the unexpected. Just as you would on an awe walk, try to notice the details you might normally overlook in your career. Is there a particular mentor who shaped your path? Are there skills you've developed that would surprise your younger self? Are there moments of magic that you've taken for granted? Once Stacy grasped this concept, a whole new world opened up. She started seeing the unexpected everywhere. Industry colleagues who responded promptly to emails. The time her first boss reached out to congratulate her on being promoted to creative executive, and the sense of freedom she had when she worked remotely during COVID by taking her dog out for a walk in the middle of the day. The fourth step is to reframe failures as experiences. So think about moments that felt disappointing or like setbacks. Imagine viewing them from the perspective of a student eager to enter your field. How might they see those experiences valuable or awe-inspiring? Now, when Stacy reframed her disappointment of being stuck as an assistant longer than she had hoped, she saw how her younger self would have been thrilled with the perks, going to screenings, meeting people she admired, like Greta Gerwig. Now, granted, she and Stacy are not friends. They did not become best buddies, but it was still a highlight of her life to be able to talk with Greta for just a few moments. And then visiting sets of big productions. And then this is probably my favorite one. Change I have to into I get to. When we say I have to, it can make our responsibilities feel like burdens, but I get to opens the door to gratitude and wonder. This small language shift is incredibly powerful. So instead of feeling obligated to go to work, we can see it as an opportunity. I get to work on meaningful projects, or I get to learn new skills, or I get to pay my bills. This small change in language reframes our routines, inviting us to see value in the things that we might normally overlook. Once Stacy embraced this mindset, she began to see her career in a new light. I get to work with really talented artists. I get to read and discover cool projects. And I get to have an expense account. This simple shift helped her rediscover awe in the familiar moments of her life in a really cool and awesome way. Okay, bottom line, I share the concept of awe walks not to promote toxic positivity or to gloss over the real disappointments and frustrations of work life. Instead, awe has a unique power to help us see our experiences in their entirety. And when we intentionally look at our past with curiosity, we can find inspiration and gratitude in places we once saw as sources of regret. Research backs this up. They show that experiencing awe can make us feel more connected, reduce stress, and even improve our mental health. By allowing ourselves to notice the wonder woven into our career stories, we can tap into these benefits. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges we faced. It's about broadening our perspective to appreciate the entire picture, the richness of our journey, which is inevitably has its ups and its downs, its highs and its lows. Awe is ultimately about discovering what's been there all along. When we bring fresh eyes to the familiar, we can uncover moments of meaning and fulfillment we might have overlooked. So in doing so, we invite a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper connection to our path, one that helps us move forward with hope and resilience. Okay, that's it for this week. Remember to head over to Moonshot Mentor on Substack for journal prompts to help you gain some fresh eyes on your career. Visit me at moonshotmentor.com where you can find links to all my social and how to work with me. And a very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.